Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Coffee with the Boys.
And it's time to travel.
Actually, it's not.
We lied.
You know, Cody, I don't think we can right now. You know, with all these travel bans, we gotta either come back to our home countries,
Yeah. It sounds like all the borders are shutting down, and Canada already has. So
Yeah, so we're all isolated, guys. But in the meantime, we're gonna bring you a lot of nonstop fun and action. But since we're on the topic of traveling, why don't we talk about the worst traveling experiences we've ever had? Cody, why don't you start us off, buddy?
So my worst was probably going to have to be a Mexico trip. Your
Never a dull moment in Mexico.
Yeah, your individualism was there.
My individualism.
Yeah.
So, like, am I like a two-pronged person? So, like, I just split into different people when I like leave the country?
No, just when alcohol hits you.
That makes sense. I feel like we all have that.
Yeah. So, although it wasn't like the event itself wasn't the worst, it was actually a lot of fun. But one night in particular, I remember, was quite the interesting night. So, our resort had a club and all that, and we would always go there.
I don't know why we're playing rave music.
It was more of a rock club, but yeah.
It kind of was, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool pool, though. Like,
Yeah, inside
the club.
That was dope.
Man, I remember, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm interrupting you. Sorry, go
Let
on.
me continue. God. So we got there, all was well. That night, I couldn't stay in my own hotel room because my roommate needed to borrow the room, if you get my drift.
Oh.
Yeah, so I couldn't stay in my own room.
He had diarrhea.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Oh, that's not what you meant?
No.
Huh.
Anyways, so I had to bunker in with our other group there in the second room, and then so I go into
Sausage fest.
So
there's a lot of canoodling.
contacts.
Anyway, what happened in the room?
I don't know.
Unless
You
it's
wouldn't
too-
let me talk.
Unless it's too graphic, then maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
I'll censor a good more portion of it,
Oh, well then go on ahead, Cody.
the best I can.
So, whoa.
So, so I was in the washroom. I walk in, all the urinals are full. So here's one of the stalls. So I'm just doing my thing. The door's closed, and all I hear is just a.
I would hope the door's closed.
All I hear is a BAM! Like someone just like punched it. I'm like, oh, busy.
Busy. Sorry, no one's in here.
So doing my thing.
Or
finish
not no
up,
one. Someone's in here.
And then I open up the door. Sure enough, it's one of my friends, unconscious.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, unconscious on the floor.
Mm.
Yep. So I was like, and then of course someone's like, does anyone know him? It's like, yeah, he's with me. Yep.
You contemplated whether or not to answer.
Yeah, slightly. I was like,
You're like, you know what? Let's leave security to deal with this.
I see nothing. No, so
See no evil, hear no evil. Except you heard it and saw it, so you're like, fuck.
yeah. So got another friend who's just outside of the washroom there by that bar. Brought him in to help me.
Always
So
fun.
me and him are trying to like throw him over our arms, and we're trying to drag him out. And at this point, he's semi-awake, so he's kind of helping.
Oh, he's conscious. Okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of walking at this point now. So he woke up a bit,
Okay.
but not enough to like stand on his own.
Oof.
Yeah, so
He's not light.
No,
He's not light.
So we're carrying him through. We get into the elevator, and of course he's heavy, so we push him up against the corner of the elevator. Worst mistake we could have made,
Did he pass out?
Oh yeah, he
Oh.
plummeted down onto the ground. So we're like, we're like, oh no. So we both grabbed a hand and started dragging him out.
No, you drug him? Oh my god.
And then we're like, so we got him out of the elevator.
I could just see people walking by, just like, what are you guys doing? All right, we know him.
Kidnapping?
We know him.
It's a kidnapping.
Oh, you just jump right to it? Like, it's kidnapping. Don't fucking mess with us. It's like slowly start pulling out a firearm. But hey, we're in Mexico, so.
All is well. Got an Uzi. So,
Oh, man.
while there, he vomits all over the place.
In the elevator?
No,
Oh.
as we just pulled him out, he vomits all over the place. So
I
we're
was like expecting, like, you left it in the elevator. We're like, somebody could clean that. Somebody
quickly
could go.
run. No.
Oh, man.
So we're like, oh no, okay, we gotta rush, we gotta hurry. So, because we didn't want to get caught by anyone. So we start trying
Good
to
call.
drag a mower, leaving the puke. We only made it like a foot before security came around the corner. I was like, But they were polite. They're actually really helpful.
Oh, I
They
bet.
called for a wheelchair for us.
They probably have a code for that, too.
Probably.
Like, hey, we got a 1219 here.
Yeah, probably.
Let's bring in the wheelchair.
And funny enough, because he puked, they even brought towels.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah, so we pretty much use it to hurl him onto the
It's like levies
pretty much just got him onto the wheelchair,
pulling a
pushed
rope.
him into the room. And then it's funny because security helped us to that point, but when we got into the room, they wouldn't touch him because he was
Yeah.
covered still.
Makes sense.
So they're like, no, you. I'm like,
you go.
it's like, okay,
but in
it
Spanish.
is my friend, I guess. So we hoist him up onto the bed,
Yeah.
and we put him in recovery position and all that good stuff. So then, of course, they bugger off. They took the wheelchair and the towels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful.
It wasn't because we could have still used them.
Sense the tone.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And then, so yeah, and then we had one buddy stayed up all night, making sure he didn't choke and die on his own vomit.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy, guys.
And then, of course, because I was stuck in that room and I had to stay in that room that night, I was supposed to actually share the same bed as him, but I didn't want him turn around and roll on my side and start puking on me, so I slept outside on the balcony.
in the hammock.
Yeah, they had a little hammock.
Yeah, I
out
remember
there.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, Mexico was warm compared to us
Yeah.
northerners, so
That was
that
great.
helped. Yeah. That was definitely my worst time.
That was that had a lot of plot twists in there.
Oh my god.
Right?
It was so...
From the bathroom to the elevator to the hallways with security approaching you guys. There's so many characters and plot twists. You could write a novel about that, man.
Man, and it's so amusing. Bless them for trying, but some of them, when they try to talk, they try to be polite and try to speak your language to each other because you're present.
Right.
And it's bless them for trying, but sweet Jesus, just speak your own language. I'm not the kind of person where it's how dare you speak your own language in front of me? You
Right.
speak English so I can understand. No. If you're trying to talk to each other and they're struggling to fully understand what they're saying in my language, it's why take 5 minutes to say one sentence and understand it when you can just say it in your own language in 30 seconds?
That's true. Why cause any more struggle,
Yeah,
right?
you don't offend me. But bless them for trying, because I know some people do get upset.
Yeah, and that's really sad when people get upset about that. It's just they're not talking about... Well, I mean, they could.
Yeah.
But highly doubtful.
But even then,
Especially with you right there. And you could, know
it just
the
makes
language.
it easier.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. I'm like you. I don't really... I'm not biased against that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one hell of a memory, man. We haven't gone to Mexico since, by the way. Just kidding.
He's not wrong, actually.
Reasons like that. No, just kidding. That's a pretty bad memory.
I wouldn't mind another trip like that, though.
Just a bunch of inebriated people hauling them around, getting security. It's moments like that we should bring a wheelchair. And then just have it as an emergency, so that we don't have to haul them. Especially because all of our friends are pretty big, right? So hard to move around when you got all those big guys. Just keeping them on their feet. It's not going to work well. So I think that emergency wheelchair would really help us out in that regard. Oh man, I can't.
You almost need one of those military things, though. the paramedics would have, like 2 sticks and a giant cloth in the middle. So each people grab 2 sticks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Need one of those.
Oh, yeah. Essentially a stretcher, but like a hammock stretcher.
Pretty much.
Back in the
Back in Nam.
Back in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can probably go that far back, and they'd have those.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Something like that, just easier transportation.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty horrific story. Well, I wouldn't say horrific, but not a great memory for a travel.
Yeah. What about yourself, though?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of that. There's a couple that have been pretty bad. I'm just trying to think of the absolute worst one that really tops the list, and I have to come to the one where I got like pretty badly sick. So it was when we went to New York.
Okay.
I guess you weren't there.
No.
So when I went to New York, and I'm not a really big fan of New York, it was very, very sketchy for me. I felt like I was.
Give me what?
I felt like I was gonna get mugged every block I was on. Those were different times. But yeah. Anyway, the trip itself was actually pretty cool. Got to see a lot of great sights, play some good football games, and meet a lot of interesting people. But on the way back, it was like the last week. It was like the last couple days there, and I was getting really annoyed with my roommates. And there was actually one instance where a couple guys we played football with at the time, they like to do back slaps, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you have a bare back and you just get really, really in there. Anyway, one of them got really badly, like there was an actual handprint on his back and it was bleeding, and I was like, this, and I just snapped, right? And then after that, I spent the rest of the night in the bathroom because they're just so rowdy, and I slept in the shower, which wasn't ideal because I was cold. 2,
just turn on the water.
I couldn't. I could have. That might have helped. Probably would have saved me from this sickness. But I think the mildew and stuff that was like building up got into my lungs and everything like that. And my God, the flight home in the coming days, I swore I had swine flu. That's how bad it felt. Like we took off in the high altitude, and like the noise from all the children screaming, and from our teammates just being rowdy as hell and on the plane. And keep in mind, this was like an 8-hour flight because we were going from the east to the west coast, and I was dying, and I felt like my brain was gonna explode. It was pretty bad. My only solace was watching somebody trip down the aisle, and them just be, like, pardoning themselves, essentially, like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, lady, you just fell. Why are you apologizing?
Was it one of our teammates?
No, it was just some random lady on the plane.
Well, that's no fun.
But in that instance, though, it was my only silver lining in a horrible flight back with so much noise, me with just like a drenched runny nose, and my eyes watering, and I'm just sitting there and praying for death to come to my door at that point. It's pretty excessive, I know, but
imagine doing that. Imagine having that look now.
Oh,
during
yeah.
this virus outbreak.
Yeah, I feel like people would be. You know what though?
People have an 8-foot distance around you.
That would make the flight better. I think just have a huge bubble in that instance, and
3 seats in the full radius around you.
I would lay down across the seats. Somehow make a buckling apparatus so that I wouldn't, fly around during turbulence.
You just buckle it in like a stretcher.
Not even a stretcher, more like a car seat. I'm just a big infant anyway, so I would be sitting there and just crying for mommy while I'm like dying slowly. But yeah, if that was the case now, whew,
mommy, I want more crackers.
No, I would get more peanuts.
Oh, there you go.
Why would they have crackers on a flight?
Don't they always have crackers?
I don't know.
Or pretzels.
I haven't flown in a while.
They're like crackers and pretzels.
Pretzels are delicious. Anyway,
and peanuts though.
But I would say that was definitely
and biscuits.
And biscuits.
I feel like that's a UK thing. I don't know.
I have no idea. But yeah. But honestly, that would definitely be my worst flight. And yeah, I do agree. During this, like the time that we're in right now, if I was flying back like that, people would be like, I don't know,
You'd be quarantined.
murmuring like Latin American words, holding like the little cross up, like they're doing an exorcist. Like I'm like, yes, no, I'm possessed. That's what's happening right now. No, but
Actually,
that was definitely my worst travel memory. But time we have for today.
I think so too. Yeah.
So why don't you send us off today, good sir?
You guys have yourself a good time and tell us your story of your worst travel experience.
We can't wait to hear it.
And they better be good too.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing, guys. We'll see you next time. The boys.